Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of Two Guys and a Couch. And as you can see, we are trying to be as consistent as possible. And today I have a very, very interesting and special guest star. And it's the second female. You got it because the last one is blowing up and it's still going amazing. Thank you for your love and support. And we have our famous lawyer here, my friend OKSANA. Come on down. Have a seat, make yourself comfortable.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, OKSANA. This is Sunglasses Exclusive Brucey Bruce. This is OKSANA ESQ. We're going to get into that in a bit. But as you guys know, my signature of gifting. And today I have a very special gift for her. It is a book called The 5 Love Languages. So this book, I read it. It's very interesting. And it's mainly towards about finding love and if you're already married. And I want to give it to OKSANA because she is married and has an amazing, successful marriage. Here you go, OKSANA. I hope you enjoy it. And
Thank
have you heard about the love languages yet?
I have heard about this book and I was actually looking to read it. I have heard amazing things about this book.
Okay, amazing. So take
So,
it,
thank
and
you.
I hope it's going to bring you much more wisdom, and maybe you can share with your husband afterwards, and he will, and you guys will figure out your love languages. So let's deep dive into this. You are an ESQ. Tell the viewers what that is.
ESQ is short for Esquire or attorney or counselor at
Oh.
law.
Oh,
But-
counselor, in-law. You're a lawyer. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, she is a lawyer. We're going to get into the specifics of what type of law in case you guys need any help. What field is that?
I do predominantly workers' compensation. I do consulting for nonprofits currently, which or sometimes with general practice, but predominantly I do workers' compensation.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here in Two Guys on a Couch podcast. If you, God forbid, got injured on the job and you need a workers' comp, amazing lawyer who will win for you and for your rights and get the maximum benefit of money, reach out to my dear cousin here, OKSANA ESQ. She will be tagged in the link below. By the way, like, share, subscribe to this podcast on all media, social media, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Spotify. There will be a link tree coming to a theater near you. So, OKSANA, let's talk about marriage because I'm a hopeless romantic and I love how you're married and you have a great, amazing husband, you have kids. So, do you have any advice for the single people out there who are looking for love?
My advice would be communication. Communication is key. I'm a firm believer in speaking your mind, but speaking your mind in the sense that you have to be, reasonable and not come it off as aggressive or yelling. Give your point of view, hear the other person's point of view, and see how you could communicate, obviously, and compromise. So I'm very into communication and compromise. Now, does it always work?
Yeah, exactly.
Not necessarily, but listen, like everything in life, it's hard work, right? So dating, I could only imagine what dating is like right now with all this social
Do you think
media.
it changed? Or do you think it's as hard as it is, or it's easier or harder now because of all these dating apps that you're talking about right now?
So I definitely think dating is harder in the perspective that it's too much information at the same time. I feel like people don't have enough. Back in the day when we used to date, and I say back in the day because I've been married 11 years now. I guess?
11 years, amazing. Wow.
Yeah, and so when we were dating before, it was like we meet through somebody or we go out, a guy and a girl, and we talk, we get to know each other, we get information. We had Facebook back then, but we didn't have Instagram or all these other
TikTok, Snapchat.
TikTok, Snapchat, all these other social media, or any of those other
You had
apps.
J-Date.
I think yeah, JD was around at the time. It wasn't as popular.
No,
I,
J-Swipe, right, though?
no, definitely not. In fact, no, definitely not. JD was around at the time. I know somebody I went to school with that did meet her husband through JD. This was again like maybe what 9 years ago, 10 years ago, but I think like I said before, it could be easier in that I guess it's easier. There's more people out there that you can connect to and meet.
You mean you have a lot of options, and then you get
Right.
stuck. You think that the grass is greener on the other side, but it's greener where you water it, type of thing, right?
So yes, I think I've said this to you many, many times before.
Yeah, that's a fair. It's from that song "As Long as You Love Me," Justin Bieber. That's where I got it from.
Not sure exactly, but so I guess yes, there's much more options, there's much more people, but I also think sometimes when you have too much choices, it can work
Confuse you.
against you. It
Yeah.
can confuse you. It's not sometimes I think my belief is that you have to realize who you are, what you want before you go out and start looking for somebody to date or to be your better half, right? Because you got to figure out what you want, who you are. Because how can you go out and date somebody if you don't have it figured out?
And what's your suggestion? Like, let's say if you're confused, so how do you figure that out? Like, what do you do? What's the steps to figuring it out? What if you think you figured it out, but in reality you haven't, and you just wandering around like, is she for me? Is he for me? Like, what's the good
I mean,
advice? What's the hint? What's
It's
the
I don't think there's any a real right or wrong answer. I think everybody there's a different answer for everybody, right? So people do things. There's a lot of people that do things differently. So you could speak to somebody who you trust, and obviously get one or more than one or two opinions, and then think about it, make a decision for yourself. Obviously, nobody can make that decision for you, and then imagine yourself like, do you see yourself with this person 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now? Do you see yourself building a life? Do you guys have common interests that you could move towards and building a life together, working together, and really seeing like by common interests, meaning family life? I think people should definitely, before even thinking about getting serious or married, discuss important things like religion, how many kids do they want, where do they want to live, where do they see themselves in the future, what happens if somebody, is there backup plans when something happens, like you lose a job, or are you guys stable enough to sustain yourself, meaning work together and not to work against each other. So, I mean, it's a very heavy topic that I'm sure your viewers or people have their own opinions about.
This is very deep. What
and
you're
this
saying.
is just my opinion. So
We need your opinion. We need opinion from a woman's perspective, a successful woman who is a hard worker, an ESQ, a lawyer, ladies and gentlemen, a mom to amazing kids, and she's like a super mom, does everything, and her husband does everything. That's amazing. Like a lot of people, they would want this type of relationship. For me personally, I've dated, I've went out, and for some odd reason, I just cannot find the one that's willing to work with me together. For example, I want her to be goal oriented and career oriented. But for some reason, I keep coming across the ones that just want to stay home. They don't want to work. They just want to be a stay at home mom, which I'm all cool for. But I also want them to have a career, to have their own head on their shoulders so we can challenge each other, grow each other. Do I have a wrong perspective on this, or?
So, just with regards to the stay-at-home mom, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. There's some people who want to stay at home, raise their children. I see nothing wrong with that. People have their own choice. As long as the both of you are in agreement and you're okay with that, whether it be a year, 2 years, 3 years. Again,
No,
that's something you guys have
I
to
am
discuss
fine
together.
with that, yes, but
Right, so
I don't want her to stay at home once, like we get married. There's no kids yet, and she wants to stay home basically and just like cook and clean the apartment and all that stuff. And I'm just working. No, I want her to work as well, have her own career, do something.
So everybody's different, right? Some people, they don't have to actually be out somewhere working. They I know like a lot of people are very creative. So when you say do something, do you mean like a hobby? Do you mean like something for herself? Do you mean something
Yeah,
like,
just to be
or do you just
independent.
want her to make money
So we
and
can, yes, make money, help each other out. And that way, I just don't want her to just sit and always be dependent on me. Because I know relationships is to be dependent on each other. So if she's constantly dependent on me, I feel like it's a one-way street, no?
Well, no, because there was sometimes that I didn't end up working, for various reasons, and I do it. So a lot of people tell me like, "Oh, you have kids, you work." I like it. I enjoy it. It's something I like to do. Not a lot of people.
Where have women like you disappeared to? Let our viewers know. Where
We're-
can we find
we're
such
around.
gems? You're around.
Listen,
they're
let's be
sitting
honest.
they're sitting at home watching this YouTube podcast. But all the social events that I'm going to, I do not come across those.
No. So I will tell you this. I think some of it just might be like, I don't know, maybe. I mean, I know for a lot has changed. So let's just be
Fear,
honest.
commitment. What is it?
I definitely see the generational changes, right? What are we? We're the millennials, and then the Gen Z and the Gen Ys. A lot has changed. But I will tell you, there's a lot of different types of people out there. You cannot put everybody in the same box.
True.
So is there times that I don't want to work? Yes. I mean, I'd love to like spend more time with my kids, or I'd love to spend more time doing other things. Is there times that I want to retire? Sure, I'd retire tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I feel like even if I did retire, I'd still work like once or twice a week. And, there's times I work part-time, then there's times I work full-time. It varies. Again, depends on the kids. It depends on how much time I have. So thank God I'm able. I have a flexible job in terms of a flexible boss who allows me to work, part-time or full-time, depending on my kids' schedule.
That's so amazing, because you need to master the time management skills, and it seems like your time management skills are up to par. I'm always shocked and very, very happy to see how you're able to manage your time successfully and find time for your family, your kids, your cousins, your friends, go to events. And that's just amazing and something unique and a skill that we are all needing to master, I think.
So I think, again, everybody works differently and everybody, does things differently. But I will tell you something, actually, that I wanted to say before, but you asked me a different question.
Yes, go ahead.
When you said, like, how's everything doable? How's everything possible? I will tell you, and I'm pretty sure others have told you the same thing. You can get nothing done without the right support and the right help and the right people, right? So, for example, I will tell you, like, I was, yes, I have kids. And like you said, my husband helps me, thank God. Me and him, we try to work together. If I can't do something, he'll do it. Or if I can't go somewhere, he'll go, or vice versa.
That's the way it should be.
Sometimes. But a lot of this, like I told you, it was from the beginning, right? Like you said, and I've told you many times, the grass is green where you water it, right? When you water plants, the plants have to grow, right? The seeds. So when we were dating, we talked about this, like, what happens, like scenarios, right? What happens if this happened? What can we do? What happens if that happened? Or like, I want to work. Right, I want to do so because, like you're saying, I would love her to be more independent, so that I'm assuming it's because you want to come home and talk to her about different things. Hey, honey, how was your job? What did you do today? Hey, honey, I did this and that. You just wanted not to be like, oh, yes, not only contribute and like work together from the bottom, right?
Yeah,
So
I want to build an empire together. Exactly.
I get what you're saying, but I think the way you said it, you should have been more. A little bit more detailed, because you came off as saying, oh, I don't want to just sit and, I want her to work. But I think what you're saying is like, I want us to work together so we both understand.
Yes, that's what I meant.
And grow together, right?
Definitely.
And I'm a firm believer exactly that. My husband and I, we work together, we grew together, and we try our best to keep going together. So in that instance, right, because we're so busy together, like he takes the kids to school and I'll pick them up. Or if I can't do shopping, I'll tell him, hey, I'll send him a list, do this, do that, whatever it is. So it's definitely a group effort, I would say, right? Another thing I'll tell you, thank God, I have babysitters when I need. My parents help me out a lot.
Thank God.
My in-laws help me out a lot. God bless them.
God bless the in-laws. Shout out to the in-laws. Watch this podcast. Subscribe, share, like. I definitely will share the link with you, Mr. Aaron. And
We don't need to get there. But what I'm saying is that, my cousins help me out when I need them sometimes. Like Boris has babysat for me. Believe it or not, he's great with kids.
Sunglasses Exclusive. They love my videos and the reels that I post with the kissing pose.
And my kids actually know him as Sunglasses Exclusive, which I tell them, please stop calling him that. He has a name. But
It's okay.
he has babysat for me. So ladies, I will tell you this,
Oh, damn.
you are looking at a guy who's good with kids, has his own job, very social, very interactive, wants to build a family together, wants to grow together. I think sometimes there's a lot of misrepresentation. I'm just going to tell you, finishing off what we said, right? So what misrepresentation in terms of how you're putting it out there, right? You want somebody you can work with, grow with. You guys are on the same page. Yes, there's occasions I'll tell you my husband and I can get off the same page, but again, communication and compromise. We can get back on the same page, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even though we might not be close, we're still on the same page. So yes, it takes time, it takes energy, it takes communication, it takes compromise.
I'm glad that you're saying all this stuff, because that's what I said in my Sunglasses Exclusive Brucey Bruce podcast. I just feel like nowadays, a lot of people, they just rather give up rather than work on it. They rather give up easily, like you don't like something. Hey, you didn't do this, or you did this, you didn't do it, you said you're going to do it. I don't want you no more. I'm not into you no more. Like, why?
So I hear what you're saying. You're not the first person to tell me this. I've heard this before. I don't know. I don't know if this is a generational thing, or I don't know if it's like what it is exactly. But
that's a good question. Before you continue, let us know, guys, below in the comments what you think about this, and give us your feedback. Go ahead.
But I think it's not just you. I guarantee you that if you speak to any woman, that you're dated, or any single woman, they'll probably tell you the same thing, right? Because I've heard the same thing, I think, from women. Like, nobody wants to put in the effort anymore. Nobody wants to put in the work anymore. Nobody wants to do anything. And I don't know what it is. I can't really answer that.
It's easier to give up. That's why it's always easy to give up.
Is it? Because how do you know that the next person won't be worse?
Well, for me personally, going forward, I try to figure out as much as possible is how strong the woman is or can be. I try to talk to her. I figure out how her life is, what she went through, and get into that little by little. And then I see, okay, this woman is a strong woman. I can see she can be with me through thick and thin. And then I continue on with that. But if I see she's not as strong, or she's constantly complaining, constantly saying, I can't do this, my parents don't let me do this, I cannot do this. I understand your parents' decision is important, but at the end of the day, you got to do what makes you happy. So if your parents want you to be a doctor, but you want to be a lawyer, or you want to be a painter, go and paint something nice and become the best painter out there.
I mean, look, it's hard to say because, you also don't want to ruin relationship with your parents. Is there another approach? Absolutely. You say, listen,
you're not gonna ruin
mom and dad, I respect you, I love you, but it's just not something for me, right? I don't see myself doing it, and I want to do something I'm happy with, right? So my parents, funny enough, wanted me to be a doctor, and I did not like that. I did not want to.
Well, you became the opposite, so the lawyer. Yeah. So.
But I don't know. I just think that, again, what I will tell you though, actually, with regards to lawyers, doctors, accountants, whatever, right, nurses, whoever you want to be, I'll tell you the one thing that people are wrong about. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't. It matters who you are. Why? You just started doing this, right? Podcasts, what? Two seasons in? Or whatnot?
Second season, yes. So getting all the guests.
Did you ever think you'd be doing podcasts?
I imagined it.
Okay, fine, you imagined. But
I didn't think I would be doing it
This isn't your
online.
day job, right? This isn't your day job, right? No. So let's say 5 years from now you become the successful podcaster, God willing, and this is what you want to do, and this is
I do
what
enjoy
you
it.
enjoy. Exactly. So let's say 5 years from now, right, you become the successful and you don't want to do your day job anymore because you find more fulfillment in this and you find more enjoyment in this and you do well in terms of money as well. So then you're no longer the IT guy, right? Because you do IT. So you're no longer the IT guy. Now you're a podcaster. But has your personality changed? No, because you're still the same person. My point here is that it doesn't matter what you do, what you don't do. 5 years from now, if I don't want to practice law anymore, I could just say, you know what, I don't want to practice law. I want to go do something else.
You get tired. You're like,
Right.
I'm gonna go be a pharmacist, and boom, you're a
Sure,
pharmacist.
why not? Let's say, I don't know. Or let's say I want to go, whatever it is I want to do. I don't know. I'm just giving you an example, right? So I'm a firm believer that you shouldn't look at, what people do. Because I think, people have
It's all labels.
Exactly.
I remember I was at a singles
Exactly.
event, and the
Right.
matchmaker was like, ladies and gentlemen, doctors and lawyers on the front of the line, all other professions on the back of the line. I look at her, I come up to her, I'm like, what about Wall Street? Because, Wolf of Wall Street here. And then she's like,
wanna know.
back of the line. I look at her, I'm like, what if I'm making more money than this doctor and lawyer? Back of the line. And then I was like, wow, okay, it's all about the doctor and lawyer
So-
statute queue.
I feel like you can change. You can always mold a person a certain way, right? If you work together, you grow together. So as you're growing together, you're molding together in terms of different characteristics and stuff. But I feel like you just can't change a person's certain characteristics, right? So your personality, how you are towards people, how you are towards situations, how you act towards situations, how you feel about certain things. I feel like these things is what makes you as a person, right? So I think that where people go wrong is they see like, oh my God, like I don't understand his look. I mean, let's be honest, looks fade. I mean, I'm sure, there's a lot of different things people do nowadays, and whatever works for them.
Whatever makes you happy, guys. No judgment
Right.
zone here in this podcast.
Whatever makes
from me.
people happy. I agree with you. Whatever makes people happy, who are we to judge how people want to look or be? It makes them happy, by all means. Do what makes you happy. But what I'm saying is that at the end of the day, putting the looks aside, putting the careers aside, you got to look at the person, the personality.
Person within, who
Right.
and what you are.
Who are you within? What are you within? And look at that. And let's say tomorrow again, he doesn't want to do podcasting anymore. Then all right, that's
I'll
fine.
find something else. You find what
Exactly.
you gotta find what you want to do, guys, and we'll end at this because although there's so much we can discuss here with the lovely lawyer Oksana, let us know in the comments below if we should have Oksana come again because she gave such wisdom, such amazing advice. I'm sure a lot of those 101 viewers will benefit from this. Hopefully one day it's going to be 1 million viewers.
I will just say thank you for having me on today. He's been trying to get me on forever.
No, she's been trying to come on forever, and we finally found the time because it was all about the time management
and
skill.
maybe it is definitely, that is one thing. The time management was always bad. But I will say this. Thank you for having me on. I think I lost my train of thought, but I think that there's definitely a lot more we can discuss. But just to point to something you said, you're like OKSANA ESQ. Yes, I'm an ESQ, but that's not the only thing I guess that makes me, as a personality. It is just my job, and
Yeah.
I like what I do. But there's other things I can do with it. Let's say even as a lawyer, I don't want to practice law, but I want to work in a company for doing something else.
You can be an attorney at a company,
Or I
correct?
could do just management
You
of a
can
company,
open up
whatever
your
it
own
is.
office.
Right. So there's a lot of things you can do. The most important thing you have to think about is, and I'm telling you as a single guy.
To all the single guys out there.
To all the single guys and the single girls
And
out
we will
there.
end at this.
Do not give up.
Don't give up. There's hope.
There's definitely hope.
There's hope.
There's definitely hope.
What is love, baby? Don't hurt me.
I
no
will
more.
tell you this. We plan, but God plans better.
So pray to God and may He hear your prayers.
And, just be honest, talk to people, and communicate and
Just
compromise.
put yourself out there.
Put yourself out there.
Yes.
Communicate.
If you sit at home, especially to the guys out there, If you're sitting at home, the girl ain't gonna come knocking on your door, be like, I wanna marry you. And to the girls out there, yes, there's a chance a guy can come knocking in your door, but still put yourself out there because there's a higher chance when you put yourself out there, you will find somebody. This was another episode of Two Guys and the Couch. Thank you guys for watching to this end. If you watched to this end, please comment OKSANA ESQ so I know that you were going to be the next guest star on this podcast. You already know it, baby. Love you all. Peace. Say bye.
Goodbye.